Alright, and we're up. What's up, movie addicts? Welcome to Midnight Movie Talk, Tuesday edition on the Movie Addiction Podcast. Big story today, Lady Gaga supposedly in talks as Harley Quinn for Joker 2. We'll talk about that. We also got Smurfs Musical is on the way. Top Gun is the top money earner of the year so far. Tim Allen's trending on Twitter. Zac Efron is doing a romantic comedy, and Amber Heard is not fired, at least as of this point. The big story broke last night. I didn't record anything last night, so I haven't had a chance to talk about it yet. And it is a story, but it's unconfirmed. It's just a report, and she's just in talks. She hasn't been cast yet, so a lot more about this will come out as we learn more about the movie and if she is officially signed on. But if they're going in the direction that they say that they're going, or that's reported that they're going, I don't really know who's saying it, she would be the perfect choice for it. Here's from MovieWeb. Lady Gaga in talks to star as Harley Quinn in Joker 2, which will be a musical. Joaquin Phoenix may be having Lady Gaga starring alongside him in the upcoming Joker sequel, which is being written as a musical. Big Name is reportedly in talks to join the cast of Joker 2, which has entered development under the working title of Joker Folie à Deux. Definitely fucking that up. The Hollywood Reporter reports that pop culture icon Lady Gaga, who has found great success in both film and music, is in early talks to star in the film. If these talks work out, Gaga would be starring as a new incarnation of Harley Quinn, the supervillain played by Margot Robbie in the DCEU. Per the report, Joker 2 is being developed as a musical, a stark contrast to the dark drama that was the original movie. That may explain why Gaga is at the top of the list to play Harley Quinn, giving her proven success in both acting and music. Of course, it certainly doesn't hurt that she happens to physically resemble the blonde-haired supervillain as well. So, I feel like I definitely heard the title because Todd Phillips posted that on his social medias. Folie à Deux, Folie, something French that I'm sure I'm fucking up. I know the title had been announced like last week or 2 weeks ago, but I hadn't heard the music detail, I don't think. Maybe I did. I don't know if that's part of the same report that's having, that's making the rumor that Lady Gaga is going to be attached to this project. I don't know what's the bigger story, the fact that Joker 2 is going to be a musical, or the fact that Lady Gaga is playing Harley Quinn. I guess I'll just start with the Lady Gaga thing, if it's true, and then right now they're just saying she's in talks. So even if that's true, it doesn't mean she's going to be Harley Quinn. But if she is, I would be super down with that. She is a way better actor than Margot Robbie, not that she was bad or anything. And if it's a musical, I can't think of anybody better for this role. The parallels between her and Jared Leto is actually kind of funny. They should have got him to do this version of the Joker, not that Joaquin wasn't awesome, but if they're doing the musical take, have the two best musician turned actors, or not really turned because they're still musicians. I think Jared Leto's had it rough specifically in the superhero genre with Morbius and Suicide Squad. His roles were not the best, but I think he is still the best actor that we've gotten from the music world. Think of Dallas Buyers Club, think of Fight Club, even though that one was small. He was in Fight Club, right? I think he was briefly. I know he's been in some other shit. He's a great actor, and so is Lady Gaga. The last version of Harley Quinn, I felt like she portrayed the character as well as she could have. I just wasn't a big fan of what they had in store for that character. I guess the character they wanted her to play, she played. I just never really liked it. She never really felt like she belonged in the world that they were trying to legitimize, but I think she's perfect for this. And again, this is all just reports, so I don't even know if it's true. I personally don't think a musical is the way to go for a sequel to Joker. And also, Harley Quinn, I think and obviously they adapt it each time they redo it anyways, but I think her story in this is going to have to be different because the Joker that they introduced in the first one, depending on how long after this takes place and what else has transpired, that's not a guy that's going to be corrupting a nurse and turning her crazy. And apparently that title, I think it's said here later, a little bit further down in the article, apparently the title is a term for a mental illness of like two personality disorders or something like that. Let me see if I can find that real quick. Because people online were talking about whether or not this is in reference, that the title is in reference to Joker and Harley Quinn, two crazy persons. Or the other theory online is that there's going to be two Jokers. I don't really know, but seeing it as it is as a musical, and if they're going to introduce this character, then my guess would be that they're referencing the two characters. Let's see. A phrase referencing a mental disorder that affects two or more individuals. So, cult type shit, sounds like to me. I don't know. My guess would be it's going to be a Harley Quinn movie and a Joker movie. I still don't even know how I feel about them making a sequel to this movie, because I loved it so much, and part of my favorite part about it was how standalone it felt. It didn't work into any of the other franchises. It was just a solid Joker movie. And it didn't feel like it was leading to anything really big either. I mean, at the end, we basically got like 2020 almost style riots. It wasn't leading to some big Thanos snap or anything like that. It seemed like way smaller stakes and things like that than what you'd expect from a giant superhero movie. So I don't know if they're planning on tying this into the franchises or not. Oh, hold on. Sorry, technical difficulties. I don't know if it's going to stay in its own world. That would be my guess. But I guess we'll see. As for this, if this is true, I think this is fantastic, and it's a different direction, but I'd definitely be interested in it. And one thing that you always hear, and I kind of agree, specifically when we're talking about the superhero stuff, is you keep seeing the same things rehashed over and over. And a Joker-themed musical would be fresh, so I guess there's that. Next big story. God, I need to get a taller fucking mic thing. Next big story. Amber Heard not fired from Aquaman 2 despite viral report. This comes from Variety. Despite a report that Amber Heard was fired from her role as Mera in Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom, a source tells Variety that she has not been cut from the movie. A spokesperson for Heard said in a statement, "The rumor mill continues as it has from day one. Inaccurate, insensitive, and slightly insane." Heard previously played the key role of Mera in the first Aquaman, as well as appearing in Justice League and the reconfigured Zack Snyder's Justice League. So, I think basically what's going on here is they didn't have anything new to talk about with the whole Amber Heard Johnny Depp thing, so they're throwing this back out in the water to get the sharks going crazy again, because this report's been out for a while, as it says, and they decided today to finally come back and I mean argue with it. I guess they probably have been denying it the whole time, but this is more of an official report because this is a spokesperson for Heard. So it's not Warner Brothers coming out and saying no, we didn't fire her. The headlines and everything going around online, that's what it made it seem like. But what this is a report really of is that they haven't told her she's fired yet, because they might not have decided yet. They're going to see if this thing blows over or not. And seeing as though Amber Heard keeps kicking it back up, she just did an interview that went viral, and then now this, she's probably getting herself out of a job, it seems like to me, which it'll all pay off in the end. I saw that clip of that interview she did the day, and I'm not even kidding. I don't know how good of an actor she was. She wouldn't really need to be, but she should play Hillary Clinton because she's crazy and she even kind of looks like her. That's all I was thinking in that video. I'm like, they chop her hair a little bit. I mean, do some stuff to her. She could definitely play Hillary Clinton. So I don't know if we'll ever see that, but for right now, we still are planning on seeing her in Aquaman 2. And the thing is, this movie may get pushed. Also, I don't know if they ever moved it or not. I can't remember when this movie's supposed to come out. Let's see if it says in the article here. Whatever they're going to do, they have to make the decision fast, and they probably already have. If it's a matter of recasting her, then they have to be working on that right now. If they're just cutting her out, that's a little bit easier. Of course, this doesn't say when the movie comes out. I know that this was initially slated to release the same day as the next Avatar movie, and I thought that was another Civil War BVS thing where one of them was going to end up moving eventually, just because they're two giant blockbusters that would target the same audience. I figured one of them would move. I don't know if that ever happened or not, so I don't know how much time we have left before Aquaman 2, but right now, officially, she's still in it. Officially. I think whatever the actual decision is, it has been made. It just hasn't been made public yet, and maybe they're waiting to go public with that until the story dies down a little bit so they can kick it back up again. But yeah, we'll see. Here is another one. This comes from... Where does this come from? The Hollywood Reporter. Nicole Kidman, Zac Efron, Joey King. That's a badly written headline. Nicole Kidman, Zac Efron, and Joey King, should be an and there, to star in an untitled Netflix romantic comedy. Richard LaGraveness, something, The Bridges of Madison County, and P.S. I Love You, co-wrote the script and will direct the featured project. Jesus. Nicole Kidman, Zac Efron, and Joey King are set to star. They just repeat themselves. LaGraveness is the screenwriter for such movies as The Fisher King, The Bridges of Madison County, and Behind the Candelabra. I don't know. He's also writing the script, polishing the initial spec screenplay by Carrie Solomon, the scribe who was working on the Margot Robbie-centric Ocean's 11 prequel. Oh, that's what else he's doing. Okay, disregard that. I shouldn't have even read that. I need to get better about reading these articles beforehand. Basically, this is another big, maybe franchise, but just a big movie that Netflix is trying to put out by themselves. They've done this a couple of times in the action world. They're creating their own franchises, whether it's Extraction or Red Notice, and now they're basically just doing the same thing with romantic comedies. I feel like they've done this before. I don't know if they've done anything that would be considered like a hit, except for the Adam Sandler ones, because I know those break records every time they come out, and I think pretty much everything he does is a romantic comedy, but I haven't seen any of those movies, so I don't know entirely sure. Or I'm not entirely sure, but the one that broke all the records, that one definitely was, because it was him and Jennifer Aniston, I think. So that would have had to have been a romantic comedy. So they've done it in that sense. That's a little more goofy. This reminds me of a 2000s Matthew McConaughey movie, which reminded me that Zac Efron, now he probably got paid a shit ton of money to do this movie, because it seems like it's just a big Netflix blockbuster, basically. Except instead of being an action movie, it's going to be a romantic comedy. Similar thing that you'd see in theaters, like I said, with Matthew McConaughey or Anne Hathaway. Zac Efron today is what they were back then, and I was kind of hoping that he wouldn't do any more things like this. I love it when he's in comedy, not necessarily romantic comedies, unless, depending on what you consider a romantic comedy. But there's a story about Matthew McConaughey turning down like $40 million because he wanted to be done with these and he wanted to be taken seriously as an actor. And I thought we were headed that direction with Zac Efron, especially after the Ted Bundy thing, which was awesome. And I feel like he's had a couple of other killer roles too. I think he needs to do that. He needs to stop doing these movies. I'm fine with him doing comedy. If he wants to go hard R, just for my own selfish reasons, he's so funny in that. And the contrast of seeing him as a kid star that he used to be and now being in like hard R comedies, that's, always, I don't know how many he's done. I know he's at least done the Neighbors movies. And then I feel like there was one other. But I hope he starts moving in a different direction. I know there's talks of him doing like a high school reunion or a High School Musical reunion. I don't really think I'd want to see that. This I don't really think I want to see. However, if the wife wants to watch it, he's not a bad actor. I'm not familiar with any of the other movies that this guy has made. There's one that's coming out like this year. It's not in this article, but I looked a little bit ago. I was reading his shit. He's got a movie coming out soon, or one that already came out. I don't remember. Nothing I've really been interested in. And the same guy working on the Ocean's 11 prequel, and I don't really have any interest in that either. So we'll see how this goes. But Zac Efron, Nicole Kidman, this is Netflix's version of. Let's see, what are some of those? Well, I'm drawing blanks. P.S. I Love You. That was mentioned in there because that's by the same guy. Here's another thing. Puss in Boots. This is also on The Hollywood Reporter. Puss in Boots filmmaker to direct Smurfs movie for Paramount and Nickelodeon. Exclusive. This is The Hollywood Reporter with the big scoop on this one. The musical project from Chris Miller, who also helmed Shrek the Third, will be highlighted this week at the Annecy. Oh, I should know how to say that. Annecy International Animation Film Festival. Jesus, I need to go to bed. Chris Miller, the Oscar-nominated helmer of 2011's Puss in Boots, is set to direct Paramount Animation and Nickelodeon Animation's untitled Smurfs Musical, which is slated for a December 2024 release. The studio plans to highlight the announcement this week at the International Animation Film Festival in France. Holy shit. So yeah, I don't know if did they announce there was going to be a Smurfs musical. I don't think I'd heard that. That should have been a bigger story. So I think this is like the Joker announcement or the Joker rumors. Not only are we finding out that this guy's attached to a project, but we're also finding out that this project is a musical. And that's cool. Is it going to be an animated Smurfs movie, or are they going to be in real life? Is that going to be a musical? Is Neil Patrick Harris coming back? I kind of want to know more about this movie. I'm extremely excited about the Smurfs. Chris Miller, I did look him up. He's been with DreamWorks since Ants. He's Madagascar, everything. He's been on storyboard shit, production shit, even doing some voices and things like that. So he's obviously a good choice for this. Everybody loves the Smurfs. It is funny that he's Oscar nominated, and you know that's true. But the bar for an animated movie isn't very high. I feel like is Puss in Boots. That's what they're talking about. That's an Oscar nominated movie. I mean, I liked it, but I don't think it was. That's why the award shows are, let's see, what can I say? Dumb? That's a pretty simple way to put it. Yeah, this is coming out in December of 2024, but they're going to highlight it this week at their big announcement. So my guess is they probably got like a song put together, just one scene that they're going to put out and promo it. But 2.5 years still, or 2 years. Yeah, about 2.5 years we still have to go before this movie comes out, so I don't know why they're trying to hype it up and make a big deal out of it now, especially if they just decided on the director. I don't know why they would announce it here and then still do it as part of their big presentation. It's like probably like a D23 or Comic-Con type thing where they're going to unveil like a slate. And this is a Hollywood Reporter exclusive, so it's possible that the Hollywood Reporter leaked this. Not that, you know, the plans for the future of the Smurfs franchise are super under lock and key or anything like that. I just don't know why they would put it out in an article if it's supposed to be part of their big major announcement at this film festival event. Who knows? But keep your eye out for Chris Miller's Smurfs the Musical in December of 2024. You can't possibly forget about that. I know everybody's going to start their countdown clocks. Here's from Screen Crush. Top Gun passes Doctor Strange to become #1 movie of 2022. A sequel to a 35-year-old movie might have sounded like a gamble. Was anyone asking for another Top Gun? Apparently, yes, they were. The movie has become a huge smash, one of the biggest films of the last few years, in fact. Top Gun Maverick just passed Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness on the list of the biggest movies of 2022. It's $401.8 million nudged it in the U.S. nudges it past Doctor Strange $398 million to claim the top spot for the annual box office chart. The film is already Tom Cruise's biggest domestic hit of his entire career, as well as being his best opening weekend. It's a bigger hit in the U.S. than The Batman, Sonic, and Uncharted. The only movie to gross more than Maverick in U.S. theaters to date since the start of the pandemic is Spider-Man No Way Home, which ended up earning just over $800. And this, I think, what did I say on Sunday when we were doing the box office? This has been out for 3 weeks now. I don't know if we're going to get all the way up to 800, but if we're already at 4, I think it's going to keep chugging along. I mean, people are still seeing it. It had comparable numbers to the new blockbuster this week, the Jurassic World. Even at my theater in town, there were still people going to see Top Gun also. This thing's going to have legs. I don't know if they've announced a streaming date or anything like that. It'll obviously start to drop off as soon as we figure out when we can watch it at home. But for now, that's a pretty good haul. I mean, I had a feeling, I've talked about this before each time a Top Gun story has come up or when I talked about it on the stream after I saw it. I had a feeling this movie was going to be a big success for a couple of reasons. First, the fact that they did not sell out. I think there was an offer for like $200 or $300 million for this to go to Amazon or Netflix or one of the big streamers, HBO maybe, and they turned it down because they wanted it to be a theater movie. And I was thinking, oh, okay, I don't think they would 200, 300 million for a movie like this that is a gamble. You'd think they would have, just kind of cut their losses on it because you never know. This is either going to be a Dumb and Dumber or it's going to be a Jurassic World. And this ended up being a Jurassic World, not necessarily in reception. I know a lot of people had issues with the first Jurassic World, with all the Jurassic Worlds. But specifically nostalgia and box office, I had a feeling this was going to be a similar effect. You also have to look at the fact that this was a kind of an apolitical movie. A lot of people are loving that. And it was just awesome. So you had nostalgia, you had a really good movie, and you had kind of the timing too. You could either, if you're in the mood for a big blockbuster, you could go see Doctor Strange, but you probably don't want to if you have a family. And this is a perfect family movie. It was an awesome movie. I'm glad it's number one. We'll see how it goes. I know there's a couple more big superhero movies coming out this year. I'll be surprised if this stays as the number one film, but it could. People do like patriotic movies. We tend to forget that. In 2014, Guardians of the Galaxy eventually edged it out, I think. No, actually, I think American Sniper edged out Guardians of the Galaxy. I think American Sniper was the number one movie in 2014, 2013, something like that. And I looked earlier, I can't remember. And I think we have the similar kind of things here. We haven't heard any awards buzz yet, but we might. You've got the patriotism, you have a really good movie, and you have subject matter that, apparently people are interested in. So I think this thing's going to keep going. I think we could probably get another 100 million out of it. I don't know. What do you think? It'll pull like 30 this weekend? It's just got to do that a couple more times. I don't know. But Doctor Strange making 398 million is a little surprising to me because I figured a lot of people would not go to see this movie once they heard about it because like Jurassic World, it's rated PG-13 or whatever, but they're basically marketed towards kids, even though there's some adult violence and action and things like that. They've got the toys. Every little kid went to see Avengers, and this is a character from Avengers, so you'd think, oh, this would be a good family movie to go to, and then it's basically, multi-dimensional slaughterhouse or something like that. And I figured the word would get around about that. Plus, they announced the streaming date like last week, or just less than a month after the release of the movie, I think. They announced that it's already coming to streaming. So I knew the box office was going to drop off as soon as they announced that. And it's probably going to be the same thing with Top Gun, but I imagine it'll keep ticking along until we find that out. Because, like I said, I don't think we have yet. All right, so one last thing. Not even really a story. It's just what everybody's deciding to talk about right now for whatever reason. The great Tim Allen is the number one topic on Twitter. I don't know if he's number one anymore, but he was a little while ago, so there's, I guess, a conversation to have there. I was trying to figure out why people were talking about him, and it seems like there was a couple reasons. This was the main thing that people were referencing. This is a tweet from Patricia Heaton, who's a sitcom actress, it looks like. She says, "Saw the trailer for Buzz Lightyear, and all I can say is Disney Pixar made a huge mistake in not casting my pal Tim Allen. In the role that he originated, the role that he owns, Tim is Buzz. Why would they completely castrate this iconic and beloved character?" Okay, so that's, I think, what started this whole conversation. That's got like 25.7 thousand likes. Everybody explaining to her why they recasted him, because apparently he's a Republican asshole and he hates children. And I've read a couple other things. Just today he posted on Twitter, and this has some people upset. He posted a joke. Took some kids to Disneyland and overheard a 13-year-old boy wondering if he may be pansexual since he loves skillets. And that's got some people up in arms because people are weird nowadays. Here's somebody that said, whenever Tim Allen is trending, I'm legally obligated to share this photo of the sign that somebody at Western Michigan had made during an episode of College Game Day in 2016, referencing his previous drug problems. Yeah, not a whole lot else I could say about it. I think there's people talking about Last Man Standing, which was, of course, that got kicked, a show that got kicked back and forth because of the conservative subject matter. No network wanted to have it or something. There was some fiasco with that. And this guy wasn't like a hardcore Trump Republican. He just has right-leaning views, and he's against all the indoctrination and all the craziness that is going on. And so people hate him because he's a little rational. As for him not being in Toy Story, I don't know how I feel about that. Chris Evans is the perfect voice for Buzz Lightyear, and this is not Buzz Lightyear the toy. This is whatever the toy Buzz Lightyear was based on. So I still don't know where they're going with the concept of the movie. Is Buzz Lightyear in Toy Story? Is Buzz Lightyear the toy based off a real person, like an Evel Knievel? Or is Lightyear a movie that exists in the Toy Story universe? Is it a movie inside a movie? I don't understand where they're going with it. Obviously, a lot of conversation around Lightyear because of the big gay kiss that everybody's all either excited or pissed off about. That's not that big of a deal to me. I probably complained about it on here when it first happened, but that's not a deal breaker for me. I'm still going to see this movie just because I'm very interested in what it's in. Main thing is, they didn't need Tim Allen to come back. Obviously, they don't like him. If they do a Toy Story 5, they'll probably bring him back because they brought him back for Toy Story 4. I don't really know how much of his politics or anything had to do with him not getting this role. I think the concept and the premise is different because I honestly don't think Chris Evans was cheaper than Tim Allen. Could he have been? I really doubt it, but I'm super stoked on this movie. I bought the special edition Buzz Lightyear cereal just the other day, and it is delicious, and I'm going to keep the box forever, and I might put it on the wall behind me. Unless the movie turns out to be dog shit, but it looks like it's going to be cool, so yeah, a lot of people happy, I guess, basically was the point of this segment. A lot of people are happy Tim Allen's not in it because people suck. As for me, I'm open to it. I think it could be interesting, so we'll see where they go. That'll do it today. See you back tomorrow night for Midnight Movie Talk, 11 p.m. Mountain Time. Hopefully we got some cool movie news to talk about tomorrow, and we're not all just talking about politics, because that's basically all that's happening on Twitter right now, except for Tim Allen. So yeah, hopefully we get some cool announcements tomorrow. I'll be back here to talk about them. Thanks for watching. Bye.